According to a video published by the Advocate Children's Hospital in Illinois, an 11-month-old infant has gone home to her family in Africa after having 2 additional legs and a spine from her parasitic conjoined twin removed by surgeons at the hospital in Illinois. Everything from the examinations to the x-rays to the dry runs, using a 3D model of her tiny spine, came down to this. A team of surgeons made a careful, and over the course of 6 hours removed an extra pelvis, as well as legs, feet, and tiny toes that were protruding from her neck and back almost from the moment of her birth. Dominique had been carrying her parasitic twin. According to Dr. John Rouge, director of pediatric neurosurgery at Advocate Children's Hospital near Chicago, it says, if the parasitic twin dove into Dominique's body and almost made it in, except for the way. Parasitic twins, who are asymmetric, conjoined twins in which one is dependent on the other's bodily functions, are extremely unusual. According to doctors, even more unusual are parasitic, apage twins, which are identical twins who are joined at the spine. Rouge, the neurosurgeon, claims that there have been less than 30 documented cases in medical literature, so few in fact that they're frequently referred to by the names of the patients involved. According to Rouge, this one would be titled Dominique from Chicago. Dominique, a 10-month-old girl from the Ivory Coast in West Africa, traveled more than 5,000 miles in February to Chicago to undergo surgery at Advocate Children's Hospital to remove her parasitic twin. Dominique's last name has not been disclosed. They said that if she did not have the surgery, her heart and lungs would struggle to sustain the extra, causing the strain to shorten her life and force her to die. It would need a large number of volunteers to make all this possible. In accordance with Advocates Children's Hospital, Dominique's trip to the United States was made possible by Children's Medical Mission West, a nonprofit organization with its headquarters in Ohio. From Ivory Coast, she was accompanied by flight attendants. On February 5th, she arrived in Chicago, where she was met by a host who would take her in and care for her during her stay. Nicole's mother, Nancy Swab from Chicago, wrote on Facebook that Dominique traveled halfway around the world with only a small bag that contained only a few pairs of pajamas and a bottle and powder formula called Nursey, which she also used a sippy cup, a rosary, and a piece of beautiful fabric that she wrapped around her shoulders. For a photo at Abidjan Airport before bidding farewell to her beloved baby for 2 long months. Dominique was jet-lagged and exhausted on the first evening, says the narrator. Ivory Coast is 6 hours ahead of Chicago. Dawn and Eat's cheerful personality, on the other hand, was on full joyous display. The following Dominique's image had been shared on Facebook by Children's Medical Mission West, and Swab recognized her. Swab decided to adopt the little girl's case and pay all the expenses of the trip to Chicago. In addition to host her in her house till her surgery, her family abandoned her in the airport as they were unable to accompany the girl in her trip. In the caption of the photo, which showed Dominique appearing to be sitting on the mother's lap, it was written, meeting a home in the Chicago area for a baby girl due February 5th. She will remain in the United States for a period of 2 months. Please let me know if you're interested, or if you know of anyone who would be willing to host this kid. It really spoke to me. Swab, who lives with her husband, Tim, and their 2 adopted daughters, head of the piece. All we wanted was to welcome a child into our lives and into our house. Dominique went to her doctor's visit with Schwab, where she met her surgical team and received a battery of tests, including an MRI, a CAT scan, X-rays, and a CT pilogram, which allowed specialists to create a 3D model of her atypical anatomy. Her pelvis and bladder, legs, feet and toes, as well as toenails and spine, which according to our physicians was entangled with her, were all borne by her twin. Regarding the 2 spines of the newborn, Rouge, the neurosurgeon, noted it presented a problem in terms of the disconnection. According to the findings, Dominique's parasitic twins' pelvis was linked to her spine, providing some structural stability to Dominique's spinal column. As a result, it was critical that we understood the structural integrity of her spine in order to avoid destabilizing her when we remove the parasitic. Dominique's medical team had been delving into her case for weeks, debating potential issues and potential solutions. They used the 3D model to practice performing surgery. The following morning on March 8th, Swab transported the girl to Advocate Children's Hospital, where more than 50 surgeons, nurses, and clinicians awaited her arrival with open arms. According to Rouge, the greatest risk to Dominique was paralysis. Dominique's spinal cord would be paralyzed if any traction or pressure were applied to the legs of the parasitic twin, for the simple reason that the legs were functional from the parasitic twin and hence had nerve innervation from Dominique's spinal cord. Dominique's cervical part of her spinal cord was completely exposed with no bone protection. Everything had been prepared to avert this. Dominique's parasitic twin was removed after the pelvis nerves and blood arteries were disconnected by the surgeons and disconnected by the doctors. They were left with a gaping hole, which they filled with soft tissue and muscle from the extra appendages they'd grown on them. Dominique now appears to be a typical infant with the exception of a lump on her neck, which doctors expect to subside over time as she grows. Her neurosurgeon noted that she still has some peculiarities on the inside. She's retained a fragment of Everett bone that's stabilizing her spinal column, and one of her kidneys is situated in the upper area of her chest. According to her neurosurgical report, Dominique is expected to lead a regular life. According to Rouge, everything is functioning normally. Dominique was discharged from Advocate Children's Hospital 5 days after her operation and placed in the care of her host mother, where she remains. She's basically back to her old self, Swab explained. Swab said she'd been providing Dominique with her own sort of physical therapy, such as having Dominique turn her head from side to side and placing objects out of Dominique's reach so that she has to reach for them herself. If you met her right now, you'd have no idea that she'd had such complicated surgery, Swab explained. In accordance with a statement from Advocate Children's Hospital, Dominique's father is a primary school teacher and her mother is a stay-at-home mother who cares for Dominique and her 3 elder sisters, as well as Dominique. Her family was unable to accompany her due to financial constraints, but they're receiving regular updates. The statement said Dominique will be brought back home in a few weeks, and she'll find her family waiting for her at the airport in Abidjan, the country's largest city, says the statement. Marie-Christine Swab, Dominique's host mother, expressed her admiration in regard for the own child's. In spite of their daughter's difficulties, they were not willing to give up on their daughter, and they sought this care for her. It was heartwarming to hear their love story. She added they were willing to put her faith in escorts who brought her here. Doctors they'd never met at a host family they'd never met before. She has a great deal of confidence in the entire network. Dominique, on the other hand, drew community together, according to Swab, while she was in Chicago. Diapers, wipes, and formula were generously donated by friends and neighbors, Swab said. The pack and play in which she sleeps in the car seat, and when she travels, are both borrowed. Her neighbors purchase bottles for her at the supermarket. In a way, we're living in a stormy world, and she's helped to bring a ray of sunshine into our neighborhood and into our family. Dominique, according to the Swabs, learned to repeat English words such as da 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 from them. They witnessed her first encounter with snow, the eruption of our first 2 teeth, and the development of our first 2 toes. According to Swab, she'll always remain a member of our family, although we've never met her parents. I feel as though we formed such a strong link as a result of the trust that may be established between strangers in a foreign country on another continent. It's been truly remarkable to see how this entire network has come together, from the doctors all the way down to our small corner of the world. Dr. John Rouge, the podiatric neurosurgeon who oversaw Dominique's surgery and was part of the team that did the procedure, said in a press release issued by the hospital, "It's wonderful to see Dominique back at home in her family's care. The perfect conclusion to her voyage to the United States," says her mother. Her new life in the Ivory Coast is off to a fantastic start. As a result of this, I'm extremely proud of our surgical team and the positive influence we had on Dominique's health and well-being. It is the driving force behind everything we do. Thanks for watching. Please like and share the video in social networks. We'll be right back to you as fast as we can.